Dear X is the first K-drama in a long time that genuinely got inside my head. It's not a show you simply watch. It's a show you react to. You defend the main character, you argue with her, you analyze her. And somewhere along the way, you realize you've completely switched sides without even noticing. Baek Ah-jin isn't the usual complex female lead with a soft heart underneath. She's something far more unsettling. A woman shaped by trauma, sharpened by survival, and capable of emotional destruction that feels disturbingly real. The more I watched her, the more I realized she might be one of the darkest female leads we've ever seen in a mainstream K-drama. The drama makes its intentions clear from the start. Baek Ah-jin is a top actress with a flawless public image, elegant, adored, untouchable. But the person behind the glamour is someone raised in an environment of violence, fear, and neglect. Her official character description openly hints at antisocial traits, someone who learned at a young age that emotions invite danger and vulnerability leads to pain. So she builds herself the perfect armor: charm, beauty, intelligence, and an unnerving ability to read people well enough to weaponize their weaknesses. She doesn't just lie, she constructs a persona. She doesn't simply react, she calculates, and she doesn't just manipulate. She leaves people questioning whether they ever knew her at all. What makes Baek Ah-jin feel darker than other morally gray female leads is the way Dear X refuses to offer the usual comfort of a redeemable core. In dramas like The Glory, My Name, or The Manipulated, the protagonist may be harsh or violent, but they still have a moral line. There's always one person they protect sincerely. There's always a moment of humanity you can anchor yourself to. Baek Ah-jin doesn't offer that. With her, the mask is the relationship. Every connection is transactional, every interaction is strategic, and every soft moment is a rehearsed tool. She doesn't hurt villains. She hurts people who genuinely love her. Watching her betray the few people who care for her is what makes her darkness so unsettling. The story never tries to present her as misunderstood. It keeps her at the center of the narrative while allowing her to be the source of destruction. My own emotional journey with her was a roller coaster. In the beginning, I actually defended her. The glimpses of her childhood were horrifying. The violence, the fear, the abandonment, the constant emotional neglect. It's the kind of backstory that automatically triggers sympathy. For several episodes, I kept telling myself, she's only like this because she had to be. She's doing what she needs to survive. But as the story progressed, something shifted. I watched her cross lines she didn't need to cross. I watched her manipulate the two men who genuinely loved her, men who would have destroyed their own lives to protect her. And suddenly, I didn't want to protect her anymore. I wanted her downfall. Her tears stopped affecting me. Her excuses stopped working. Her cruelty became exhausting instead of tragic. And then the drama introduced another character just as unhinged as her, and that was the moment I thought, what are you cooking next? But here's the strangest part. Even after I decided I no longer supported her, I couldn't stop thinking about her. I replayed scenes, analyzed her expressions, and kept trying to understand how one character could make me feel sympathy and disgust at the same time. The last drama that did this to me was Mouse, where the narrative makes you teeter between pity and horror. Baek Ah-jin brings that same emotional confusion, but from a female lead, which is incredibly rare in K-dramas. A big reason for her impact is the people orbiting her. These aren't faceless side characters. These are men who know her trauma, who have seen her at her worst, and still choose her. Yoon-jun Seo, her childhood friend, loves her with a kind of trauma-bound devotion that's painful to watch. Tender, loyal, and deeply self-destructive. Another man becomes her silent shadow, someone who shares pieces of her history and still protects her even when she drags him into darkness. And then the new character enters, someone who mirrors her unpredictability and emotional instability. The tragedy is that none of these people are clueless. They see her manipulations, they feel the emotional damage, and yet they cling to her because they believe love will eventually fix her. Meanwhile, she treats their loyalty like currency. That contrast, their devotion versus her emptiness, is what makes her feel genuinely dangerous. And none of this would hit as hard without Kim Yoo-jung's performance. This role is not just another character for her. It's a defining moment in a career that began when she was 4 years old. For more than 2 decades, she has been Korea's beloved child actress, the nation's little sister, the bright presence in historical dramas, rom-coms, and coming-of-age stories. Even when she took on more mature roles, audiences still subconsciously saw her as the girl they watched grow up. Dear X is the project where she burns that image completely. Baek Ah-jin is everything the public never associated with her: cold, manipulative, unreadable, morally unstable. And she plays the role with a precision that almost doesn't feel like acting. She transforms her entire presence, lowering her voice, flattening her emotional tone, using silence as a form of intimidation. Her eyes do nearly all the acting, shifting from blankness to razor-sharp tension. Her smile never reaches her eyes, creating this uncanny feeling that affection is a performance. Even her physicality is different. She carries herself like someone always ready to defend or strike. Watching her feels uncomfortable because your brain can't reconcile the child star you grew up with and the terrifyingly controlled woman on screen. And that is exactly why this role marks a turning point. It finally forces audiences to see Kim Yoo-jung not as a grown-up child actress, but as a fully realized adult performer, capable of carrying some of the darkest, most complex characters on television. The reason Baek Ah-jin matters so much is because she breaks rules K-dramas rarely challenge. She destroys the idea that a female lead must be redeemable, relatable, or softened for audience comfort. She forces viewers to confront their own biases about empathy and morality, how far we're willing to excuse someone because of their trauma, and whether we judge female villains differently from male ones. Beyond that, she exposes a deeper truth about celebrity culture, an industry that creates masks, sells them, rewards them, and then acts shocked when someone becomes shaped by that mask more than by their own identity. Baek Ah-jin is a product of trauma, yes, but she is also a product of a system that profits from broken people as long as the performance looks perfect. Dear X isn't asking you to like her, it's asking you to examine why you ever did. And that's what makes her unforgettable. So now I want to know, where are you with Baek Ah-jin right now? Were you defending her? Did you switch sides? Or are you stuck in that uncomfortable middle, hating what she does but still unable to look away? Tell me in the comments.